Yeah, now you're dead, are you?
Not your kids' toys. Sideshow.com.
Greetings, and welcome to Sideshow's Spooktacular. The show will begin shortly.
Make sure to be signed into your Sideshow account. Don't have an account yet? Go to side.show/sign up.
Enter the Upside Down. With a brand new Stranger Things Demogorgon figure now available at Sideshow. At a monstrous 16 inches tall and featuring a posable body with interchangeable heads and hands. This Demogorgon is sure to loom ominously over any collection. Find this and even stranger things at Sideshow.com.
Want $5 in rewards? Be sure to register for this event at Spooktacular.com.
Or else.
She's alive! Alive!
Greetings. Welcome to Sideshow Spooktacular. The show will begin shortly.
to Sideshow Spooktacular. You're watching our artist interview series, giving you a chance to talk with the Sideshow team about the newest offerings from the collecting world. Now, without any further ado, on with the show.
Hey everybody, welcome to Spooktacular day number 5. We hope you've been here all week, and of course we've got things 24/7 all the way through October 31st. But today we're looking at 6 scale, some of my favorites, and I am joined by Anthony Mestis and Mike Tolentino, and we're going to talk 6 scale figures. Guys, thank you so much for being here, but more thanks. Thank you for bringing these into my collection. I am loving on this.
Welcome. Yes.
So we have David from the Lost Boys, Pennywise from It, and Beetlejuice from the original Beetlejuice. Okay, let's start with right off the bat. These are very, very well known.
Right.
Okay, we for some of us we watch these
iconic.
Yes, iconic. We watch these every year, sometimes every month or more. So there's a lot of reference, and we know what it is. We know how it should look. But when you guys are doing something like this and trying to get that accuracy, what do you use? What kind of tools do you have at your disposal to make sure it looks the way it does?
So, obviously the film, you watch it so many times, so many backwards, forwards. You got to know all the different scenes, all the different ideas that you want to do with these figures. And then we went for Pennywise. We went straight to the source, and we worked with Bart Mixon. Right. And that was cool.
Yeah,
he came into the office.
We had the opportunity to, so Bart Mixon was one of the key effects artists that worked on the TV show.
Okay.
So he came into the shop, he brought his personal photo
all
album.
these old Polaroids of
Really?
just behind the scenes that you've never seen.
And it's basically stuff that you've never would have seen online, or you wouldn't have been able to get, by scouring the internet. And the best part of it was that we could talk to Bart and go, is the makeup right?
Yeah.
Because it's very tough to figure out the likeness on the face, because he's all white and you don't have it, and the shadows drop different. Is his nose, which way is his nose and his chin? So we had the source. He sculpted it, he painted it, and there isn't anything better than that.
Yeah.
So.
No, I'd say when you have the person who did it to say, I could do it only smaller.
Yeah. And the great thing was that when he'd seen it, he was like, man, you guys nailed this. And he just had a couple little things that we were aware of, but we just needed to confirm with him to go like, we thought so, but now that we know, the inspiration was, like Lon Chaney from Phantom of the Opera that had the nose
Pointed
little brought up.
Okay.
And they're just little finite details that make this character look the way he did on screen that other people probably wouldn't have caught, so.
But it was fun too, because he also showed us progress. So we early test shots of Tim Curry and the makeup,
how it evolved.
And how it evolved. And it was like what Anthony was saying with that, with the eyebrows. We couldn't find a consistent eyebrow reference.
Color of the eyes,
it changed almost every day on set.
Yeah, and the same thing. And the same thing with Beetlejuice. Even though, Beetlejuice is everywhere. Everybody's a little bit more familiar with this. You can dig some stuff up, but behind the scenes. Footage or stills are tough, and we went to V. Neal, and I got to ask her. I was like, asked about the hair and the makeup, and even V didn't have a ton of photos to share.
Really?
She was like, nobody took photos back then.
No one cared.
They had a few Polaroids, continuity Polaroids and such, but there still wasn't anything from the studio or anything like that. So, but that still gave me the opportunity to ask her. So then you could go, well, what about this and what about that, and she was there to answer the questions. So.
Now, speaking of questions, we are live here, and so throughout the show, if you want to ask these gentlemen any questions about what we're looking at today, do so in the chat. Okay, we are being asked, where is the Pennywise box?
How are you going to see it?
How would you, as it is, the balloons are right at the
I'm
eye
only
level.
this tall, come on.
But that's a great thing that you're getting into, and that is the box design. Yes, for those of you who've pre-ordered, don't worry, it will come with a very cool box.
It's in the same vein of these. It's just barely getting approved. So.
I love this
I was gonna
box
say,
design.
Since it came up, let's
Yeah.
talk about
Yeah,
the
let's
boxes.
talk the box design. Can we get a close-up of the box? I want to get it from a few different angles.
Camera
You
three,
may
one
have
of the
seen it.
boxes.
Yeah, camera 3. Let's jump into our Lost Boys box. For many people, a lot of films like this from this era you saw on VHS. You went to the video store and you got it, and it would come in a box like this. And yes, it was rented a lot. Many times it wasn't available that day. And when you
then you
got
get
the
the black
box,
and
it
white
was
box.
really beat up. And really damaged. So I love that the age is on there,
Yes.
that it's still done in the slipcover design. This is our David box, and of course it does have that takeout look design to it.
As a thing
But
to it.
even the box, like they have little notches.
Even the little
round-
notches on the side.
Which I love,
Some of the newbies might not
Yeah,
know.
we have to explain what VHS is for the kids.
Yeah, you're
What
used
any of
to
the
it.
stuff
You're used
is.
to what do they is it-
CD, DVD,
yeah, what do
DVD.
they call it? Crystal case or
No,
something?
they
the
just-
blue
no,
cases.
no,
You're
they
used
just,
to
they
that.
just download it, stream it. but back in the day, we had VHS tape, and the thing is that these movies are so, at this point, retro and have, go back to the 80s. It only made sense that we did a thematic type box that represented, the videotape. You go into the video store, and it was almost.
You'd
It was
see
just
these on the
it was-
shelves.
It was that much more fun just to go look at
Oh,
the
yes,
shelves. It was
yeah.
like looking at being in a library and seeing all the crazy, box. The
It's our
videotape
version
art
of
and
watching the
everything.
trailers on Netflix.
Love the art boxes. Great way to display them next to the figure. In fact, you're
Yes.
absolutely right, Tony B. That's something that we talked about with these. Is
We were
it
just
does
talking about
become the thing that you have next to it. This is your own video store. This is your own video store.
Yeah.
Show the back.
Because the thing is usually people just put the boxes back in the shippers. They're in the garage.
Yep.
They're thrown somewhere, strewn around the house, whatever it may be. This gives you the opportunity to go like, hey, I want the box out and display it. It's like a little marquee.
Like a marquee.
yeah,
It's your movie poster coming in.
right.
And a shout out to Jesse Lincoln. It was all his idea. He came in because he knew we were doing all these. He's been on last week, right?
Yes.
He was on
He's like, you know what we
yesterday.
need to do is we just need to do these as VHS boxes. So I ran up to Gad and we worked it out. It was a great idea. It was perfect.
Plus, you damage the box, you would never know.
Yeah, exactly. Can you rent them and not return them? Darcy, you do not have to return them, but please rewind them before putting them back in the box.
You can send it to me.
I'll rent my figures out.
Exactly. He will rent those out. Okay, guys. I just got my David, and I love this figure. I love all the accessories he comes with. Okay, having 3 different containers is spectacular, and the
Chinese food, yeah.
chopsticks. Is there ever a time when you're pitching the idea of a figure that there's just an accessory or something cool that you want to add to a figure, and that's the whole reason you pitch it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you initially have the conception of a figure, you start compiling a list of what you want. Obviously, you get your first things like, boom, you got to have the bottle. You have to have the Chinese food. You have to have the chopsticks. But then you start throwing in other ideas. And you start with every idea you can, and you pare it down to what makes sense.
Yeah, basically, I mean, it's what is the first thing that comes to mind, and usually that's the most prominent, iconic thing that you would have, and that's where we would go and then we have to go. All right, how many accessories are we going to have in this box?
How many can we have?
Because
in
the evolution in development is usually entertaining because we will pick. It's like okay, the bottle, the Chinese food, this that. And then it slowly meanders into the obscure
Maybe
and
a
the
comic
really
book. Maybe
weird,
a Rob Lowe poster.
yeah, the really weird things because, everybody here they're such fans that they start getting into the minutia.
Yeah.
And then you start veering off course, and you're like, wait, does anybody even know that existed in that
Or
movie?
is it
And
going
it's
to
like,
do anything for? Is it going to
let's
enhance it?
let's back up, and that's where we kind of figure out exactly what we need to have in the box to make it.
Well, I get a lot of things just for the cool accessories. So when you guys add things like this, I would have got a David figure anyway. But because you added so many cool accessories in a separate portrait and the hanging figure, I had to get 2. So thank you very much.
Yeah, perfect.
For those of you, let's talk about David. Right now, this is so popular that he is waitlisted, okay? And it is important to put your name on the wait list because, hey, at the stroke of midnight, we don't know if David will come back. So put your name on the wait list. Right, we do have another question. Is there any new manufacturing or materials that are inspiring when you're making these figures? Any kind of new things that come out that you go, hey, that's a neat thing. We could use that in this scaled down version.
We're always looking at different ways to improve toy technology. Whatever's changing.
technology.
Yeah, toy technology. Whether it's like the hair, or different joints or different ways to hide seams. It's always something that we're looking to do because we're always trying to improve or make these a better thing.
Right.
We're always the main goal is aesthetically pleasing.
Yes.
And we're trying to shoehorn in like your accessories or your features without breaking up the silhouette.
But there is, I mean, as far as technology it goes, everything evolves. So it's like printing techniques
this is all
evolve,
printing.
paint techniques evolve, sculpting evolves. I mean, it goes from traditional into digital. You see here, we have some synthetic hair that we've been putting in, and you see that across, the collector community with various companies where they're adding synthetic hair. So we're starting to add that to where we feel
where it makes sense.
Benefits.
Okay.
We're not going to go through and add real hair on everything because it is a tough thing. If the hairdo works with it, then we'll experiment with that.
Yeah.
As somebody whose real hair was a mullet, it is difficult. I had
That
a real mullet.
would be damn near impossible to do with real hair. So
These are spectacular. I'm loving it. Now, Sideshow got to announce a brand new line of figures.
Yes.
It harkens back to when I started collecting the figures, and that is the Scum and Villainy collection. So I'd like to move these off. We're going to return those to the store.
I'll take this.
He's going to take that to the rental store. And let's take a look at the Scum and Villainy collection. Now, there's so many things about this I'm liking. What I'm liking is right now I am able to bring up 5 figures, an entire collection.
An entire line.
Not just 1 or 2 and hope that I might see the others down the road. I am seeing all 5 right now, and I think that is pretty darn cool.
Yeah.
It's definitely cool.
So let's talk Scum and Villainy on this. Now, how did you decide on these guys, on these 5? How did you decide to choose these ones?
So we had the Scum and Villainy from a few years back, and we had the Bounty Hunter line from a few years back. We just wanted to continue that. We wanted to go back and revisit those Scum and Villainy of this universe. We decided what's the best, but then that Mos Eisley scene. We'll pick out the few. I mean, it went back and forth on which 5 that we should include, but
yeah, I mean, basically,
we knew who.
We had started off and we had done the Bounty Hunters as a whole line, and at that time everybody was like, nobody's doing the Bounty Hunters, and then we were like, all right, let's commit. We're doing the Bounty Hunters, and huge success. And even those we had revisited a couple times and fine-tuned them. I mean, Greedo's part of that.
Yeah.
And then we were like, okay, now what's the next? And me personally being one of the older gentlemen collectors here,
distinguished.
and yes, and seeing
elder statesman,
elder statesman, and seeing the movie, as a kid in '77. I mean, it always resonates. It resonates with the people that are into the original movie, and it's like they're always going, well, what about the iconic characters that are in the cantina? How come and nobody's done them? And then growing up and having those little action figures, we talked about that.
Yeah.
We got the previous one,
and those were biggie. That's why they had different names.
Yes,
at that point, except apart from Greedo.
Most definitely, and those were loved amongst the kids.
Yeah.
So it made sense. It's like, well, the people that collect these things have gotten older. That's kind of what pushes collecting, is bringing back those memories and wanting a bigger, badder version of what you had as a kid. So that helped. That helped decide on what we were going to do here. And
the approach was like, we wanted to take each of these characters and like, this guy thinks these movies are about him.
Yes.
Like, this is how cool Ponta Baba should be. Like, he's the main character. This is his story. And so we took that approach on all of them. We really wanted to dive into all the details and make sure everything's as cool as possible.
Yeah.
Now, again, folks, we are live, so if you want to know anything about these figures or the ones that we used to collect that were much smaller, feel free to ask.
I still have mine.
Absolutely, I still have it.
Which
now, some of
Snaggletooth
these,
did you have?
I had both.
Yeah, we mailed away. Back then, you used to mail away things.
That's kind of what they do now.
That's kind of what they do now. These guys, I mean, okay. Did you have a favorite Cantina guy?
I loved Labra, just that, like, the quick second you see, and he's looking off to the side, all creepy like. It's such a good scene. And
It's
then
so quick.
Garandon's always been a favorite.
This one here, and again, you guys had access to a lot of things when you're doing this, was one that, if we've got a close-up on this, was, we only see him for a brief moment.
Yeah.
But to see him without his cloak and to see that full mask,
And it's funny that you bring some of that stuff up, because when we do the research and try to figure out like what was going on here, I remember not even thinking that he was stitched up like that. And you know, over time, when you see these when you're younger, you kind of fill in the blanks because they're such short scenes and they're darkly lit. And it's not until you start doing that research and you go, that's what's going on there.
What's even
you know?
crazier
And that's
is sometimes it's not.
How long is the costume, and how does it drape, and how?
Because a lot of the things Lucasfilm told us you have to fill in the blanks.
Okay.
So some of the things, because again, just like with the other stuff, all these vintage pieces, they weren't documenting everything.
No, not then. No,
so
especially then.
Yeah,
I mean,
just
it's knowing
do what
that,
you think.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the fans know more than the studios know, because they're so tenacious. I mean, years ago, I had paid a visit to Bob Burns, who's an old-time effects artist, and now he's an archivist. And throughout the years, various special effects people have gifted various props and everything. And this was years ago when I went to Bob's, and he has the mask to this in his collection. And the thing is, it's like, wow, I've seen this in person, but it's also shrunk and it's
shriveled,
faded,
yeah.
and
It's faded and shriveled.
And that's the
and you're
reference
like,
we get,
what
too.
is that? That looks
Yes.
that looks like a beef jerky carcass. But still seeing it, and you get to see what's going on there with various things.
And that's what's hard too, is because when you get that reference, everything, it's a mask, but the head's not in it, so everything looks a little floppy or
you don't have the person
So you got
inside
to kind
it.
of like fill in the space.
Well, that was
and
like
use,
that was this one. You know, when we
it
were
was just a
talking about
mask.
it, it was like, this was a Rick Baker mask. These were background masks that they brought into the movie, and it's like, all right, fill it in, do that. They didn't have any expression. The expression was sculpted in. So when we do this,
You got to walk that line.
you got to go, do we want to make it look like a realistic character, or do we want to make it look like a 1/6 mask? So you have to kind of balance it out and kind of tweak it and make do.
Now, they are going to be plastic.
Great.
It's
We
like
did have a question for those of you who are reading along down at the bottom, wanting to know about the Greedo finger. So yes,
gonna be softer.
They will be applicable to work with.
It's going to be. It's still a work in progress. I just got my first test shots. They're going to be softer, but they're not going to be like floppy.
They'll have some give, so you can put the gun in them. They're not super hard to where you can't manipulate or anything.
Now, guys, I fell in love with these characters in 1977, but these figures, when did you start working on these? When did the creation of these 5 start?
So we started design in January this year. So
This year?
So this year, the Korea team, Wan Lee, shout out to Wan Lee, has put out all 5 of these prototypes in a accelerated program. So we had to get Beetlejuice out of the way. We're still working on a few other things like kind of woven in, but these 5 plus the other 7 that we have planned, or 5 or 6 or 7, depending on what we do. We've already got some of those prototypes. Oh, look at that. Yeah.
Yes, I think you can see in the shadows
So,
and even more Scum and Villainy.
Just as a reveal, we just got our Bib Fortuna prototype in, and he looks awesome. So we're going to be showing them and revealing these.
Did you
really
just
soon.
reveal what one
Maybe
of those
not.
shadows was?
What?
Did you just do that?
If they
Did
didn't
you
know, they don't
spoiler?
deserve it.
Did we spoiler alert? I think there was a spoiler alert. Now, guys,
It was Bip Tafuna.
Bib Tafuna. What did you have for lunch? I had the Bib Fortuna.
It was delicious.
Now, we are looking at all 5. Now, I myself, there are 3 that are currently up for order.
Boom, boom, and boom.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yep.
And I have those pre-ordered. We talked about the mask. We talked about his rare appearance, the brief appearance of Labria.
Yes.
He is coming up for pre-order on October 28th.
Get your fingers ready.
Now, this is one of those, he's going to be really, really limited. Michael, can you talk to that?
I don't know how much I can talk about it, but we are going to be limiting this one. So I believe it's going to be a Sideshow exclusive.
Okay.
The edition size is going to be set pretty low. So if you like Labria, which it's funny, out of these figures, I think his shown, I was so surprised on how fun he was when he came out. Like his expression, it's such a good figure, and it's going to be very limited. So if you want to make sure you're on the
devil.
site.
Well, that
And he
works.
does look
That
like the
works
devil.
with Spooktacular.
Yeah, he's like
That
the
works
space.
with
He's like
Spooktacular.
the space devil. Who doesn't want a space devil?
Oh, well, this is an interesting question. How many projects are normally happening at one time? I think, now this is from Mandy Me asking this. Mandy, I think we're going to say maybe
too many.
I was gonna say, how many do you
too
have?
many, but in 6 scale world, it looks like it's been quite a few all
The
at once.
6 scale world, I mean, we got 12, 15-ish. But then I do production as well that I need to keep tabs of things that are still in early development. A lot of
making
things.
it sound like he
So
does
lots
Yeah.
of. The answer is lots of.
He's
80-ish.
fluffing his
Yeah.
position here.
I've got 80 projects that I'm keeping track of.
Well, there you go. They're all organized alphabetically.
I have too many.
Yeah.
I think it's 500 at this point. Yes.
Well, okay, guys, I love looking at these. I want you to see a classic style video presentation with yet another look at this cool Scum and Villainy collection, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Get your Labria.
Greedo, Ponda Baba, Dr. Cornelius Evison, Gurindon, and Labria. Straight from the Mos Eisley Cantina, Sideshow presents the Scum and Villainy collection. Highly detailed and articulated 6-scale figures. Perfect for recreating your favorite scenes or telling your own story. With Greedo, the big-eyed bounty hunter with his sights set on the prize. Ponda Baba and Dr. Cornelius Evison. He doesn't like you, and he doesn't like you either. Gurindon, the Imperial spy who lurks in the shadows. And Labria, the mysterious man with the devilish grin. You just watch yourself. They're wanted men. The Star Wars Scum and Villainy collection. Each 12-inch figure sold separately by Sideshow.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Sideshow Live. Right now, again, I am with Anthony Mestis and Mike Tolentino. We're looking at 6-scale figures today, and the ones in front of us are made by our partner, Hot Toys.
Yeah, we morphed over to Hot Toys.
We morphed over to Hot Toys, but we kept with somebody that we know that kind of followed us over from the last set, and that is Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice 2, Beetlejuice, and their take on it.
Love it. I love that portrait with the eyes and the tongue. That is fantastic.
Yeah, and it does have this cool swap out portrait as well. And you know, he changed in this movie. He definitely had a tailor in this one here. We're talking a peak lapel coat. You know, a little different. He no longer tucked his pants into his combat boots, kind of thing like that. But it's just again a fun look.
Yeah, the piece is great. I think the like Mike said, the accessories. You know, you get to see the eyes bugging out, the tongue. Once again, you have the real hair, an evolution of the movie into the evolution of the figure. So it's great. And you get the tombstone.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, right in front of you are two that I'm super excited about.
My favorite.
Number one, to be able to get Alien, to get the Xenomorph in a 6-scale posable figure. More to come on that, so make sure that you are following along.
Yep.
But then we see right in front of him an alien that did not have a great day, and that is with that samurai Predator.
This is the Samurai Predator, a new release, an updated version that Hot Toys had done.
Is that 10 years ago?
It's been a while.
It's been a
I
bit.
have one, and this was sculpted by Takayuki Takia out of Japan, and his work. He has a following just on his own.
Absolutely.
So, and it's awesome. I love it.
Such a good piece.
Yep.
Getting the
also
artist
with
take on
Kenji
those.
Ando. Kenji Ando also worked on that.
And that piece is no joke. Speaking of joke, what's in front of you?
We got our Joker. Got our Joaquin Phoenix, and this guy. This is my Joker.
Yeah, exactly.
From the first Joker.
From the first Joker. And that to me is one of the coolest things that we've had as far as like display base
I love the base.
type
Yeah,
style.
that
The
is
fact
great.
that it has working stage lights and an applause sign, the chair and everything else, and of course all of the accessories that allow you to recreate.
Kudos to Hot Toys, because most people would have never chosen this base. It would
Yeah.
have been coming down the
More
stairs.
action piece,
or-
Yep, it would have been it would have been our stair dance, and this is just such a fun idea
I love
to
it.
have
Great
that.
colors
And,
on here.
now, I believe all of these are currently available for pre-order or RSVP. So again, for everything that we're looking at today, go to Spooktacular.com. Yep, I think all three of us are pointing to the bottom of the screen to let you know. Spooktacular.com is going to be the way to take a peek at these. Now, that Joker, I'm amazed by. I think it's spectacular. And Hot Toys did a little video that we'd like to show you right now. And we've got even more 6-scale figures coming right up. So take a look at this and we'll be right back.
Always more.
We are back. Welcome to Sideshow Live and our artist look at all things cool. And we're looking at 6-scale figures today. And by our partners, Asmus, we get Deadite Ash. Okay. I'm a Michigander. I'm a Michigan State guy. This was definitely
Is
my big thing.
Michigander? Is that the
Michigander? If you are from the state of Michigan, chime in the chat if you're a Michigander.
I thought you made that up.
No, that's the name.
I'm a Coloradian.
If you are a Michigander, please sound off in the chats. Again, we are live in the chat, so any questions that you have, make sure you do it. Now, these are brand new reveals, okay? Nobody has seen these yet except for, well, the three of us, and now you. So can we get a close-up on
Number
our
3?
Deadite Ash? All right, so this is from Dead by Dawn, the second Evil Dead film. Like the first, only a little bit wild. Yeah, Michigander here. Congratulations, Lance.
Yep. You win nothing.
Way to go, eh? Lance would currently hold up his hand and point to it and tell you where he lives. Now, that's what we do. In Michigan, we tell you where we live based pointing on the hand.
We've learned a lot today.
Yeah, we've learned a lot today, haven't we, kids? Now, our Deadite Ash that you're seeing there is going to have 2 separate portraits while he is a Deadite with both unique expressions. Now, Michael, please don't read the book, but there's a book down there. Can you show that off?
Yep. Can I touch it?
Absolutely. Go ahead and touch that. It does come with the Necronomicon. Open it up just a little bit. Yep, that's right. There are little pages.
Yeah, little pages.
We don't know if we can zoom in quite as much, but there are going to be little pages in the Necronomicon. We're kind of looking at this wood base desk that we have here, but I like that really complements the base that the figure comes with. That is that. And in front of you is yet another really unique accessory. I'm going to just have you hold that up just briefly. Briefly, yes. It is a gesturing hand that the character will come with. Yes, that's a gesturing hand, ladies and gentlemen.
Mike Tolentino's number 1.
Yes, exactly. I'm
that's number one for Michigan. That's how Michigan says they're number 1.
That's how people from
Michiganders.
There you go.
That's how we do that.
You lost all the Michigan buys.
And we lost the Michigan viewership.
Way to go, Asmus.
They were up here, now they're down here.
Now, these are from Asmus, okay? Both of these. Number 1, says the Sprite Report.
Yes.
Absolutely. Now, Ash deals with Deadites, which are kind of demon-like, but zombies are something we've dealt with for a long time.
The undead.
The undead. And Asmus has been doing a line of figures called Bitten. And this is the twins. This is a brand new reveal right here. We're going to try and get as close as we can.
Nothing creepier than undead children with chainsaws.
And twins.
Twins creepy.
Let's see, anytime The Shining, we had creepy twins. I mean, pretty much all the time. I'm sure we have some twin viewers in the audience who are now no longer in the audience saying I'm not creepy.
We're losing viewers.
We're losing viewers from the States. We lost Michigan. And we lost Michigan and we lost our twin viewership. However, Chris does feel that that's creepy AF.
Yeah.
Well, if you remember, like in Walking Dead on the TV show, I think it was the first episode.
Yes.
I mean, it was the creepiest scene ever because the little girl comes in and that's how it all kicks off.
And it all kicks off.
And they're like, "What's wrong with her?" And she's in the hall and she's staring.
That was absolutely creepy.
That was disturbing, as it should have been. That was the intent.
Well, Mondo 1080, I believe it's Mondo 1080. No, this is not Cindy Brady. Yes, if you're watching on a phone screen,
but it could be if you
want to an iPad or a larger screen to see all of the detail.
It's imagination. Use your imagination.
That's what's cool about the Bitten line is you can kind of write your own stories like
exactly.
that. So if Cindy Brady goes crazy,
Cindy Brady had a rough one. Now they are 2 figures. Okay, they are going to come together, and you see that there are 2 very different portraits. The one kind of the whole lower jaw is messed up, and the other with the eye hanging out.
Yeah.
But to stay cutesy or a little creepy,
if they're not cute enough,
and we get that cute stuffed bunny. But it's a little roughed up. It's actually got some of the stuffing. But then you stay creepy where I like that she carries around a chainsaw.
I love that she knows how to work a chainsaw.
She works the chainsaw. Now, for all we know, this girl grew up in Michigan, in a logging area. We're not really sure. We're not really sure.
She knows her way around a chainsaw.
Well, thank you, Asmus, for sending us these. Thank you, Hot Toys, for sending us your prototypes. Anthony, Mike,
thank you, Anthony.
Thanks so much for coming in and talking about my favorite stuff. Now, again, this is not the end of Spooktacular. We are going through Halloween at midnight, okay? We're going to have daily live streams. We have giveaways. There's discounts. There's big sales. There's all kinds of things going on. And to find out all of this, go to Spooktacular.com. Once again, thanks for joining us. And until next time, don't forget to let your geek Sideshow.
That was that thing?
It's my